Hello. Welcome to another one of Studio Central's live art demo videos. I am Ollie and I am here to introduce us, and we're going to be led by Kate today. And then we also, as well with us, have Maytar and Tiffany, and then James is going to join us later. So for those that don't know, Artbeat Studio is an organization that believes in using art as a tool to work on our mental health. So we have an artist residency, and then we also have Studio Central across the way, where you can come in person to make art. And then we are here right now at Upbeat Artworks, which is the gallery of the alumni that have gone through the residency program. So all the work here is done by the artists that have gone through the program. And since we have the opportunity to be around this art, we are going to show off one of our most recent graduates, actually. Graduates from the program. So we're going to show off, read the bio, and we're going to show off the work of Bijou Marcoux. So I will flip the camera around and Kate will read the bio while I show off some of the pieces.
Bijou Marcoux was born in Winnipeg in 2004. She began focusing on painting at age 14 and then turned to making collages and clay jewelry. A free-spirited musician, she has worked at a record store and says art and music, especially pop from the 1960s and 70s, are her greatest passions. Besides relaxing me, art gives me a sense of accomplishment and pride, she says. Bijou pictures astronomical bodies in outer space tending toward abstraction. Using acrylic on canvas, she aims to add a pop of color to her pieces. She has developed a technique of doing paint pours in individual bands, progressively covering areas not intended to receive each successive color. In addition, Bijou has decorated the backgrounds of metal road signs to make the message prettier and less boring. Experienced in ceramic work even before she came to Artbeat, she has also produced unglazed polymer clay earrings and a ceramic sculpture over crossroads with signposts, inspired by the Wizard of Oz story. Bijou found the studio space Artbeat has provided allowed her to produce a greater volume of work during her residency than she had managed in the previous 2 years. Each new friend I've met here has taught me something different, and all have been highly encouraging, she adds. Photo by Kevin Grammett, bio by Michael Rennie.
And there we go. And all of this here is some of her work, which is very unique and kind of like explorative in the technique as well, with like
this piece, if you have it on this little spot right here in the front, you can see the colors a lot. And I researched on a couple of options, and if I put it there, you can see it reflecting way more, but you cannot really see the middle. It does not give you much color, so this spot gives you more. You can see the piece way better than
very interesting.
And also we have another piece of visual side. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's right here. So this is Look Through Me.
More of that space with also the paint pour. It's a very cool piece. Show off.
And we can come back to the cut-through space. This is the first piece produced during the Artbeat Studio residency. And as you know, when someone starts residency, it's so exciting. People can use all kind of different mediums and accomplish their goals from sometimes ago.
Now that we've shown off some of our artists, we can get into the art creating.
Right. So what we're doing today is based on experience. And I wanted to show what we're doing first before we begin. So we have been doing collaborative projects. So we already have a deadline. Was it yesterday? The deadline was yesterday. So when the piece is ready, it has to be framed, installed, definitely. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. But I'm also adding finishing touches to the piece. It was for staff, volunteers, and anyone else could participate in the collab projects. The show begins on September 6th, and it will not feature all the pieces. The pieces will be added eventually. So we will have a smaller show that gets, when pieces are selling, I believe they're going to
Had a lot of pieces.
to be purchased and given right away. That's what I believe. I'm not completely sure. I think that's what's going to happen, and the new pieces will be added. I want to show the piece that I'm going to work on today. And Maytar, my daughter, she had a summer position a couple years ago at Artbeat, but she's not considered staff anymore. So we cannot count Maytar as staff, and it has to be 2 people that are actually working or volunteering at Artbeat, participating on one project. I want to show an artwork that looks completely finished to me, but I need to do something with it, and I'm going to frame it. This artwork has started from a sketch by Maytar, and then Tracy McCorrister added her vision of what it can be, and Tracy mentioned she was terrified of clowns. That one probably was the only one she was working with for now. And also, the date was actually Tracy's birthday, the date when this drawing was produced by Maytar, because Maytar mentioned when it was done. So it's really good to keep track of your pieces when they're done, year, date, and it gives more impression when someone buys them. So when you make your own artwork, you definitely want to add a little bit more detail because it makes it more interesting. Art does not have to have a story. It can be a little detail that gets, that is being attractive to someone. So this is a better quality paper, sketch paper. Today I brought sketch paper that is not super good to me. So this one, I tried painting on that, and I tried acrylic and watercolor. Both of them didn't work for me. So this one is a paper that is great for other things, and drawing is not the best for it. But I would just say that we're using this paper today, and I'm going to donate it to Studio Central for artists to try it. So that's a simple no shore from Walmart. We have mixed media project today with it's a small drawing. It's not a project, okay? Don't see it as a project, just cancel. And Maytar will talk a little bit about drawing with pencil, but what we're doing, we're actually working with mixed media, and alternatively, we could add something different rather than a paint marker. And Maytar, usually a lot of artists work with white pens and other things to make pencil look better. So for the highlights or for something like that, and then add little personal touches. It could be any. We're coming back to what we're doing, and Maytar will show what she's working on, and then I'll show what I'm going to do.
Pencil scratch noises.
That's what we're gonna hear the whole time. So for myself, I actually work with a sketch of what I want to put here. So my little part of work would be working on these areas. So I'm not starting a completely different drawing for no reason. So what I'm going to do is to sketch several things and place them here, and then someone can use it as a coloring page.
Yeah.
I just want to sketch it out right before I put it there, and I'm going to use markers here. But I also can actually work with pencil and then add some detail with a paint marker. So it looks a bit different when you actually color it. Just something simple, but can be taken from clip art images, and something simple I don't have to think much about.
I don't know what my inspiration is for today.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. It's very open-ended.
And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do because not having a prompt can be like, okay, well, I have a million different things that I could draw. It can be difficult, but
Yeah, that's why I find like one thing I appreciate about art classes is like having an actual assignment kind of actually gets you to create versus just like thinking about creating.
sometimes I hate it because I really don't want to draw that thing. And then
That's
when I
true.
draw, I draw, I just want to draw what I want to draw. But it's good to draw a variety of things and not just one thing. If you really want to.
So my goal is to keep it simple, so anyone can add their own detail afterwards. But also, okay, that's 3. I don't want to overcomplicate it because I need to have it in a small size. And how can I make it simpler? Let's see. So I chose this one just because it's simple. Maybe.
I don't know that you ever choose simple things.
You say it's simple, but then it's not simple.
I can just show how it looks like. And I can use colors from here. Let's see.
The bright Posca colors work really well with like this circusy kind of thing.
It can start from a simple task. It can start from just coloring in, and then I'm adding things around it that I can see in the clip art, and then it can, for someone, it can be a prompt for another drawing or painting, but I'm not doing that today. So I think if it's a tent, if it's even, do I like it? I don't think so. I actually think it's going to be this way, like the way it's drawn there. Like this.
I'm gonna inspire from the circus thing as well, because I like little ponds.
Black and white somewhere.
Oh, here. That's the block I was looking for. There we go.
Everyone's looks so good.
I know, started on it yesterday, or not yesterday, like a week ago. I worked on it for like 2 hours already, so. I don't think I'll finish it by today either. This is something that takes days to make. And that's how pencil is usually for me.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people look at like art and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so incredible, I could never do that. But they also don't see the work and the time that goes into every piece too. And everyone just has a different way of doing things too, so.
Like if you had a lot of patience and you really wanted to learn, you could probably learn to draw too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because while it is a skill, it is also kind of just a want to learn things.
Yeah.
Because if you want to draw something, that means you wanted to learn it already. So.
I think everyone can do anything, it just sometimes you need to put a lot of effort into doing it.
That's true. Like with certain things, it's like you literally cannot do it. But some things with enough practice you can probably do it. Like if I practiced math enough, I could probably be pretty decent at
Yes. Yes. And I think part of the reason it maybe comes easier to some people is just because they enjoy the process and the act of creating, and there's some natural like beginning to it, but really to get talented you have to put in the effort.
Which is just constant
Yeah.
doing.
And it's again a lot of it comes from enjoying that thing. So you do
Yes.
it more because you enjoy it. And if you don't
Exactly.
enjoy it, you probably don't want to do it, and you probably won't learn how to do it.
Yes.
So
And it's especially hard to see like the time and practice that goes into things when certain people, like if you've been creating your whole life, you don't see, that technically, like,
You've got a decade worth of
yeah,
experience behind
yeah.
you.
It's
Or
like,
more.
It's like, yeah, because I've been drawing since I was 4, and I've been doing it often since then, that it builds up the skills.
it's So if someone says, oh, well, that drawing only took you an hour, that's not that long. But it's like you've been,
It took you 10 years to learn, but it's
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's like you couldn't do that in an hour. The amount of time something takes doesn't necessarily equal the skill.
Yes.
So it's like even if you only spend 5 minutes on a drawing, it could be a really amazing art piece.
Yeah.
That took a lot of time to master.
And it also fully depends on like how you create and like what your personal way of doing it is. Like I have a tendency, like when I paint, I'll do it all in one sitting for the most part. So it's like I don't have any pieces that take like a whole week to do,
Yeah.
but also just that's my style of doing it versus some people prefer to take their time with things and do more detailed or, you know, take some time to step away from things, which is always good to do.
Just because your piece takes less time doesn't make you any less talented than someone else.
Or
But
vice versa.
Yeah. It's like when I saw Bob Ross do his paintings, like he did the rocks in like one swoop, and that like he took time to learn that clearly.
Yeah.
He didn't just the first time he learned to paint, you know, he wasn't like, oh, that's how you do a rock. No, you take like multiple
Yeah.
colors on the brush and do it in this specific way, and it takes literally like a fraction of a second to do, but it's
It takes time to learn.
yeah, it's
It takes a lot longer than
skill.
seconds to learn.
It's really amazing to the efficiency of some people. So
It's
it
true.
couldn't be me.
But then again, nobody could be you. Nobody can make your art except you.
It's good to be inspired by people, but no one can be you.
Yep. This little turn lives in my head.
That's beautiful.
It's the exit from my sister's property out onto the local highway in Alberta.
It's such a nice, like, perspective of it, too.
Yeah, like my mom's cottage is like right here. And
Yeah.
around this curve, up around this copse of trees here, is my sister's house.
It's so nice.
So this little turn just lives in my head because I walk through it all the time when I'm visiting. And I'm lucky enough I get to visit a couple times a year, so
Yeah, that's nice.
my mom flies me out usually.
I love these little tiny erasers for doing like hair details.
Yeah.
Because like the sunglasses I drew, like it's like a mass of like shading.
Yeah. Then you need the catch
But
lights,
then
right?
if I want to do the hair, which is like, you know, the hair has like you know, the lighter parts of the drawing is on top of the sunglasses,
Yes.
so I like to go on top with the
Oh, that's so
eraser,
cool.
and it actually looks like hair.
Yeah, it does. That's a really neat technique.
Yeah, I've always struggled with hair.
It is difficult because it like the head moves and it
Yeah.
looks completely different.
Well, it's kind of a complicated thing to draw because, like, even stylized, you have to figure out how you're grouping it together. Like, even if you're doing realistic, you know, can't technically draw every single hair.
Yeah, no, conservation of detail is really important.
So,
Because technically, like yes, your hair does have individual strands in real life, but when you're drawing realistically, like when you see someone's hair, you don't see those individual strands.
Yeah.
You just see a mass of hair.
yes.
Yeah, unless they got one on their face or something. And then you'll see it.
Yeah, like a single,
A single
straight hair.
strand. But other than that, you're just gonna see it in clumps.
Yeah. And generally, that's how people draw it, like in sections. But generally, it's drawn just with guidance from the lighting. Like, oh, this part's the lighter part, this part's the darkest part, this is the medium part. If
you're doing like a more simple drawing, but if you're doing a more complicated drawing, then it can be, like especially if the hair is like flowing in the wind or something.
Gets complicated very fast.
It's like, usually you have to have a reference to even know what you're doing.
I love a good reference.
Got a little paint on this one.
And I'm not an expert at this, I just do whatever feels right.
Looks really cool, Kate. I feel like this could be like stickers.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot more sketching when I was younger. But I like pencils because they're not as much pressure. Because like,
Yeah.
not that they're easier, but they're not as much pressure because you can erase a little bit. But then once I started doing more like university projects and stuff, I learned a little bit more to like take more risks and try using like pencils. So because when you use pencil, if you're not doing a full like complete sketch, it sometimes looks a little like messy or like not fully finished, unless you're taking the time to make it a finished sketch, if that makes sense. So like learning to use pencil or pen and paint and stuff to render things is useful. And now I'm not as used to sketching anymore, but it's still fun. I mean, I always start with a sketch, so.
It's like, sketching would be like just the unfinished, like pencil,
Yeah.
like nothing else.
Yeah.
It's,
I think especially for like process drawings, like you're not gonna do a full rendered sketch for a process drawing. So if it's in pencil, it looks a little more messy versus when you do it in pen, at least afterwards to like mark out the more complete pieces. It's nice. Like, I'm not dissing pencils, I'm just. And so then I learned to embrace other things more.
it's just, pencils are usually people's gateway to art because it's so accessible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when you're at school, you always have a pencil or a pen on you or whatever, but generally people with pencils, they can erase.
Yes. You can erase it. And then
No, they're really not. It's purple. Not great.
I found hair easier for me to draw once I just saw it in terms of lighting. Because at least in the picture I'm drawing from, it's mostly just black with it's just black and white, so it's easier. But the main part is just getting the part where the lighting is reaching this part of the hair, and it's like, that's where it's the brightest. And that's just what I focus on rather than just individual strands.
It's hard to stop yourself from assuming what things look like versus like drawing them as you see it actually.
It is difficult, and that's, you know, when people draw, like, let's say a person, they might draw like a stick man, like they do it more as a symbol, like, oh, this circle is the head, rather than drawing the actual head. That's, okay, but this is like, you know, it's not what you see, but it's kind of what you think you see.
I think that's also why what I find is like if you're trying to sketch from a specific reference and you're like, I don't really know what I'm looking at, my brain can't fully comprehend it, it's like, that's okay. Just draw what confusing blob you see, and then when you finally complete it, you're like, oh, it actually kind of makes sense. Because that's what you're seeing is what you're drawing, and the picture makes sense, so.
It's harder than it looks because it's like lighting can be really confusing. Certain shapes can be confusing. Like when you're
brown. I had a few issues with that one too. Yeah. And this one's just plain running out.
And I've got a lot of street left to do.
Well, it's just, getting more detailed. The white spots are just, I don't know, is it a paved road?
It's gravel.
Okay, there, it's just gravel. It's the pavement. That's good, I guess. We have a black one. Hard to draw with markers because it's harder to like blend and create new colors and stuff compared to like pencil crayons.
The only ones that blend really well are like Copics and stuff. I feel like those are so expensive. Yeah. I'm just not like a marker person.
Yeah, if you wanna like work with those, then you like have to specifically be looking to work with like markers and.
I mean, if I'm working with markers, I'm not even thinking of blending. Like, I'm usually doing something more
not blending.
Okay.
I mean, I like markers, not for anything like with shading, really. But I've seen some people do some cool stuff with markers, even. I find a lot of markers can bleed through papers, so you have to be careful.
That's true. Do you need the blue back?
No, I'm looking for tan clothes colors, so I have just this. I don't have any tan. And this.
Oh, I like the monkey. That's so cute.
Dun. Okay. Black. There's black.
Oh, it's okay. I don't want to often use bright colors when I do stuff. So, to challenge myself a little here.
Okay, so I will need to move to this because this is something I can go on with here, and it can be anything I choose. Could be a jelly roll pen, could be some splash of color around. So I see that jelly roll pen is not enough for this part. So if I make a lot of little tiny tents, that might not be enough because here it's a lot of color and just white would not do it. So I would think I can just add random colors. So based on what I did here, could be red and blue. Red, blue, and white jelly roll pen. Just need something to underline it with. And then the roof, I can play with. So I random like yellow and something. I then just outline it with black. It's probably the easiest way of doing it. And then drawing the little detail in.
Oh, so cute.
So something like this, and then I can just add this small red. I don't know where it was. It was a small.
Big red one. Little red.
Right there. This is the
It's a
only red
big one. There was a smaller. Okay, I know it. How. Okay, I need to take it out. Wow. Cool. So for it to be the mixed media, let's see, is this mixed media? Yes. This one is not because you cannot even see the pencil here. This one is. So when it comes to pencil, you need to be really creative to create something like a line that is staying there and go around it to actually call it mixed media.
Yeah. I know on mine I'm covering up a lot of it.
If it's like this, it's still mixed media, right? Because you can see the pencil through it, but if it's completely covered by a paint marker, it's not. So. So this is definitely a mixed media piece, and I am going to put way more detail, but I start with just a simple tent and then I can just go from there. Maybe I'll add monkeys, maybe I'll add, I don't know, I'll see what I can do with it, but yesterday I was going through a lot of images of cats, and it's not working for me because I was distracted by cats and it was not related to this.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
cat-related distractions.
Just cats.
Cats distract me too.
Cats are very distracting creatures. This I know, I have two. You're very good at derailing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, they're always meowing for food and they're busy.
We've got ours trained so that we play a certain song when food time goes off.
Oh wow.
So they know when the song goes off that it's time to come to the kitchen. And they don't bug us as much.
That's smart. My cat isn't necessarily meowing all day, but he's just.
What song is it? If I can
It's
ask.
Over the Horizon. Oh, it's one of the ringtones on the phone.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just one that was on both of our phones.
yeah. That's a good one.
So,
Not something that just gets too tiring to hear too often.
yeah, because we hear it twice a day.
I like the ringtone one. I like the like by the seashore one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, because I haven't played it since I was a kid, but it makes me think of Nintendogs for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Which I can't explain because I don't remember what Nintendogs music actually sounds like. But it has that, you know, I feel like it's, you know, taking a little dog on a walk or something.
Yeah, it's
Cute.
got that kind of vibe. So I try to turn this back into a mixed media piece.
Oh, that has a nice texture to it though.
Yeah, I like the shininess of it.
Yeah. I would have thought to do that.
Well, it's not exactly a turquoise road, so I figured that's
What?
great. Really? You mean the gravel's not blue?
Wait until Studio Central gets their hands on it. Paint all the rocks.
Oh, they love that, I'm sure.
Rock
But
painting.
they're all tiny little gravel
Yeah,
pieces.
that
so.
would be a nightmare. See, rock painting is relaxing until you have the task to paint an entire road of gravel.
Yeah.
Which I have a hunch is the reason that you don't see a lot of painted gravel roads.
I would imagine.
Usually people simplify stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like brick walls, usually people don't draw every single brick. You know?
You just draw a couple here.
Because most
Yeah.
people aren't paying that much attention. And when you draw like every individual brick, it might even look weirder than if you didn't.
Yeah, because it's kind of like the hair too, where like, yes, you can see every brick, but like, when you look at something, you don't necessarily like process every single brick. So it's not always necessary to add all those details.
Because when you have a painting or a drawing, there's usually a focal point, and unless the focal point is the brick wall, then you probably shouldn't draw every
Yeah.
brick.
You're gonna destroy your psyche.
Unless that's like the focus of your piece. It's
Yeah.
like, it's literally just a brick wall, then yes, you would probably want to draw each one. Unless you're going for a more simplified piece.
So many different things you can do. So many options. The options are endless.
I mean, you can do whatever you want with your art, but generally people like to make things not stressful for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, some people I think find peace in the like doing all the detail work.
Some people love the challenge.
I myself don't share that sentiment necessarily. I prefer just being quick and scribbling and
If you've ever tried pointillism, you'll know patience.
I think I'll stick to impressionistic
Yeah.
stuff. It works better for.
If you have no patience, do not do pointillism.
Well, I think I have patience, just not for certain things.
yeah.
Because like I do my smocking and that takes me hours and hours and hours to do, and that's just like stitching over and over again with thread and needle, right? But like,
If you're doing something for a long time, make sure you at least somewhat enjoy it or
Yes.
it's benefit.
or I enjoy the result.
Yeah.
Is what I enjoy. And while I'm stitching, my brain isn't being as mean. So
Yeah, that is I think with like activities that require a lot of focus, it's either like it completely shuts off your brain or your brain just starts screaming. So you have to kind of listen to what your body and your brain are telling you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting to the end of our life, so I'm gonna go around and take a look at everyone's pieces.
I don't think I'm even halfway done, so.
This is my little clown. I'm fighting with the colors a little bit right now, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's really satisfying to use the paint markers, as long as they're not dead. That's the
They get a little
comment.
frustrating when they're dead.
I'm gonna take a peek here. I mean, we've been looking at Kate's lots during this, but those would make such cute stickers. They're so cute. And then we have,
And the from Sisters of Mercy.
that is absolutely unbelievable. The hair is fantastic.
I have to work on it quite a bit. I've mostly been working on the hair and the face, but I'm gonna have to work on the gloves, and that's gonna take forever.
Oh yeah.
So
Looks fantastic
for
though.
that.
And a nice like contrast of light to dark too. It's so easy for it to get muddy.
This is all gonna be black.
Very nice.
And
And
that's
then-
what I made.
I like it. I like it a
The
lot.
road is very shiny.
Yeah, you can see
Shiny
that
road.
in the camera.
You can see the graphite.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
It's cool.
The graphite on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I was peeking at yours a lot while I was drawing my own, and I'm like, wow, this process is so satisfying to watch. Like, you're very fast with it.
Well, I've composed this before, so it's
Yeah.
not the first time I've drawn this scene. It's
Yeah.
just, like I said, the scene lives in my head.
Yes.
So it's relatively easy for me to put together on a piece of paper, so that's why I picked it.
Yes.
So what I did is basically this. for
Little
today.
tiny tent, clown tent. So
Because
cute.
this is just trying things out,
Practice,
but this
trying
one
things
is
out.
actually the piece I
I
like.
like it a lot. So we can end it there for today. And we'll see everyone next week, I believe.
I will be here next week, but I
Yes. Yes. We'll miss you. So have a good weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow at the
Yeah.
Santa Park.
We'll see everyone.
Park.
Bye.